It's 2-something, it's finna go down. The club just finna let out. This how we do it in H-Town.
They was high. You know, Smitty had everybody going to Third Ward on Rosalie getting that fry. They call it wet now. Music slow. So one day we was riding, Friday night was Carrington's, and they had everybody be talking about Caro now, yeah. You niggas don't get the pillars no credit. The legends don't get no credit. Carrington was just a pool hall. That's right. That's all. Nigga, when we come through there, we made Carrington, that parking lot got lit up not because it was a pool hall, because Smitty, Keith Babbitt, Anthony Benjamin, Lean, all these baller ass niggas, Craig Hicks, was at Carrington.
What if I told you there was a hustler in Texas who became a legend, not by moving real dope, but by selling fake bricks? While others were ducking cops and rival dealers, he was cruising in a Rolls-Royce, brushing shoulders with celebrities, and running one of the boldest scams the streets had ever seen. This is the insane story of Carl "Smitty" Smith, the man who flipped drywall into diamonds, scammed hustlers across Austin and Dallas, and somehow walked away untouched. Early life and ambition. Carl "Smitty" Smith wasn't just another street hustler. From the start, he had ambition. He saw the drug game not just as a way to make money, but as a stage, a way to show off, gain respect, and live the kind of flashy lifestyle most dealers only dreamed of. But Smitty's hustle was different. While others risked their lives moving real weight, Smitty came up with a dangerous shortcut. Instead of buying real cocaine bricks, he packaged up fake ones, drywall, flour, whatever could pass a street test, and sold them as the real thing. It was high risk. Getting caught scamming dealers could mean instant death. But Smitty had the charisma, the talk game, and the boldness to pull it off. Austin to Dallas, the fake brick pipeline. By the late 80s and 90s, Austin and Dallas were booming hubs for the drug trade. Real kingpins were moving tons of weight through the state. Smitty carved out his own lane. He targeted up-and-coming hustlers eager to level up, the ones desperate enough to jump on a deal that seemed too good to be true. He'd roll up in luxury cars, dripping in jewelry, with the confidence of a man connected to major suppliers. Buyers thought they were getting a plug. But what they were really getting was a fake brick hustle. Sometimes he sold whole packages of drywall. Other times he set up deals only to have his people rob the buyers. And still, he built a reputation, not for product, but for surviving a game most scammers didn't last in. Living large, cars, celebs, and street fame. Unlike most hustlers who stayed low-key, Smitty wanted the spotlight. He drove Rolls-Royces, wore designer clothes, and showed up at parties with celebrities. To outsiders, he looked like a major player in the Texas drug scene. To insiders, he was a mix of genius and madness, someone brazen enough to play the game without ever touching real product. And somehow, he kept winning. People he burned rarely got retaliation. Whether it was fear of his connections or just Smitty's ability to talk his way out of anything, he became untouchable in the streets. The hustle's risk and survival. Make no mistake, the fake brick hustle was deadly. Hustlers who got caught running scams usually ended up robbed, beaten, or killed. But Smitty flipped the script. He used his flashy image to sell the illusion of power. He kept people guessing about who he really was connected to, and by staying in motion, Austin one week, Dallas the next, he avoided the kind of heat that would have crushed a lesser hustler. His story became part of Texas street legend. The man who could sell fake bricks, survive the backlash, and come out richer every time. Legacy of Carl "Smitty" Smith. Carl "Smitty" Smith may not have moved tons of real weight, but in the underworld he proved something just as dangerous. That perception can be more powerful than reality. He lived like a kingpin without ever being one. He played a high-stakes hustle in plain sight and left behind a story that's still talked about in Austin and Dallas today. After Smitty disappeared, a rumor started floating through Austin and Dallas that he wasn't working alone. Some said he had a real supplier behind him, a silent partner who moved quietly, never got his hands dirty, and let Smitty play the frontman. The streets called him June, short for Junior. No last name, no photos, just whispered stories of a man who made Smitty's hustle look like the warm-up. June, the shadow, behind the shine. Unlike Smitty, June never wanted the spotlight. He didn't wear designer, didn't post up in clubs. He stayed in the background, moving real weight while Smitty distracted the streets with drywall. While Smitty ran fake bricks through local hustlers, June was watching. He let the scam play out, sometimes even supplying the real samples that made Smitty look legit. But when the blowback came, when people started asking questions, it was June who made sure things went quiet. Some believe June used Smitty as a smokescreen, letting him run fake deals while he moved the real product behind the scenes. Others think Smitty made June up, a boogeyman to keep people guessing. But those who knew the game, they swear June was real, and he was far more dangerous than Smitty ever was. Clean face, dirty business. According to a few old heads, June kept a clean face. He had a day job, ran a small import-export business on paper, maybe even owned a landscaping company in South Dallas. But behind that clean image, he was quietly orchestrating re-ups, clean cash drops, and burner crews that rotated every month. He never spoke on the phone, never fronted product twice, never met in the same place twice. Even cops had a nickname for him, the Mirage, because anytime someone got close to catching him, he vanished.
That's right, little mama. Do that for daddy. Yeah. And man, she said a few days, she called me that morning. What you got for daddy?
Hey, this the deal, but I'm gonna need to talk to you in person. Look, they got like 75 to 100 of them things, but we gotta replace them because they got an inventory. They gotta take them from downtown and move them.
Move them well.
On Macau, well that's where they burn them at.
Really? So I immediately called my boy Smith, man. I say, Smitty, them old funny things, man, I'm gonna need about 100 of them, man. And that boy say, man, stop playing, man. I said, I need 100 of them. And he was like, man, 100 for what? I said, man, I got a link set up, man. We need to swap them.
When Smitty slipped, June stepped in. By the early 2000s, the fake brick game was getting sloppy. Too many wannabes, too many bad burns, too many bodies. Smitty's name was still heavy, but the streets started to wise up. That's when June stepped in. He started buying up real bricks and sliding them into key spots just to restore trust in the pipeline. He'd clean up Smitty's mess with one hand and tax the new wave of hustlers with the other. And if anyone tried to run off, get greedy, or name-drop Smitty for a pass, they disappeared. Quietly, no drama, no trace. The last play. The last confirmed story tied to June came around 2006. A mid-level dealer from Tyler, Texas tried to press June for fronted weight, said he knew Smitty, and wanted a legacy cut. A week later, his apartment was found empty. No furniture, no product. Just a single brick left on the counter, split clean in half. One side real, one side fake. To the streets, that was a message. Don't confuse the game with the gimmick. June's disappearance. Not long after, June vanished. Some say he moved operations to Atlanta. Others say he walked away completely, bought land in Costa Rica, and never looked back. There were no charges, no indictments. Just a myth, cemented in the concrete memory of the streets. People still argue whether Smitty was the mastermind or just a pawn in June's bigger plan. But either way, Smitty lit the match. June controlled the fire. So, what do you think? Was Carl Smitty Smith a genius hustler who beat the game, or just a reckless scammer who got lucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And tell me this, who should I cover next? Maybe Cornbread Arnold in Memphis, Starsky Red in Jackson, or Little Ricky Jivens from Savannah? Your pick might be the next video. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss the next drop.